Thanks for watching Esports Monies. Subscribe and enable notifications with the bell icon so you don't miss any of this questionable content.
And if you hit the like button, I'll probably get more views or something, so go on and do that too, I guess. Thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Esports Money, ZSM, Mac10, whatever you want to call me, and welcome to my guide to jungling Medusa in patch 7.07b. However, it's basically the same as patch 7.07, she wasn't really changed. A couple of things just before we get started here. Medusa is a hero that has some really weird interactions with Mask of Madness, and if you've kept up with my content in the long term, then you probably already know this because it's sort of a theme to all of my guides for Medusa. With this guide, I'm going to go for a Hand of Midas because I imagine it's what people are going to be searching for and looking, but if you made it this far and you're listening to my voice right now, then don't go for Hand of Midas, go for Mask of Madness, or go for Hand of Midas and then get Mask of Madness because of the way the hero works. Medusa has a flat tax of 60% damage being absorbed by her shield when it comes in, and leveling up that shield just makes it so there's more damage, you're more mana efficient with your damage, with your mana shield. So with that 60%, you take an exponentially smaller amount of damage from the Mask of Madness -7 armor than most heroes. And Medusa is one of the best Mask of Madness carriers in the game for that reason, so we're going to be focusing on Mask of Madness. So, anyway, I like to get at least one bounty rune. I believe in this guide I only took the level 1 bounty rune, then ignored it from then on. It's always nice to get the level 1 bounty rune. It's not reliable, but hey, it's only 100 gold. It's not that big of a deal. As far as the starting items are concerned, we're just going to get a Quelling Blade. You're going to be cliff jungling. You have a very clear path to cliff jungle. Because of this, you take no damage. You do a lot of damage. You have the Quelling Blade to clear trees, and if someone tries to come gank you, then if you're worried about that, put a point into your mana shield, pop it, and just slither away, because chances are you're going to be at full health. So, let's talk about Medusa's rework to her split shot. So her split shot's gone through like 5 different iterations during the life of Dota 2. Not just Dota 1, but just during Dota 2. She's gone through like several iterations of split shot. The way it currently works, the way it used to work was an active that you toggled off and on, and that's the way it kind of always had worked. Now it is a passive, and it gives you bonus attacks for 3 additional targets, and they take 30% of your regular damage, or 45, or 60, or 75% of your regular damage, depending on how many points you put into the skill. So this means that your primary target is always going to take the full damage from your split shot, which means it kind of simplifies things. You no longer have to toggle split shot off and on. Another thing is that when you have split shot enabled, when you had split shot enabled in previous patches, it gave you a plus 100 range. Now it just has plus 100 range search radius around Medusa, so they've kind of simplified things by making split shot work as a passive. There's less things to keep track of, less things to worry about. Mystic Snake still steals mana, it still does damage. It does damage increase per bounce at 35% with base damage of 200 level 4, so you have a maximum number of bounces being 6, so that would be 6 times 35%, plus 200 damage, so very, very large amount of damage, potentially. But it does magical damage unless someone is stuck in stone form from her ultimate, then it does pure damage. So the pure damage is actually pretty massive, but the magical damage isn't that big. Mana Shield I've already kind of talked about, and then Stone Gaze is a pretty sick ultimate. I get a point in your Stone Gaze whenever you possibly can. It's not really going to set you up into situations very often where you're going to be able to fight, so like where you're actually going to get people into the Stone Gaze form, but what you're going to do is use it to control big chunks of space, because if they don't leave that big chunk of space, then they get petrified. Another thing I want to point out is you want to start cutting down trees where Medusa currently is, by that medium camp, at about 5 to 15 seconds into the game, and the reason being is because that's the maximum amount of time that you can take. So you'll actually have, if you start at around 10 seconds, 15 seconds, then you'll have cut down all of the trees you need to at both camps by the time 1 minute hits, and that also gives you the absolute maximum possible time before you need to cut down the trees again. As you can see, I'm having to cut down more trees, which puts me into a kind of weird situation, but it's not too bad. We're going to do our Timbersaw impression here. If you want to avoid this situation altogether, you can put a ward on the tower or on the cliff behind me, but that's largely up to you. Your support's probably going to want to put the ward somewhere else. However, it will keep you a little bit more safe. You'll be able to see heroes coming to gank you unless they're invis, and we've already been over the fact that you're going to be at full health anyway, and it's very easy to put a value point into Mana Shield. So as far as talents go, at level 10 you have 12% evasion or plus 25 damage. I personally really like the plus 25 damage, it's pretty nice, but it's totally acceptable to get 12% evasion here because evasion is awesome. It's just... Evasion is something that you typically have to get by adding items, and you're probably going to want a butterfly. It's like in the super late game anyway, so it's up to you, but remember evasion stacks multiplicatively, or is it additively? I'm not sure. Either way, it stacks. It works. They stack in a way that's meaningful if you add them together. And it also is a little bit stronger this patch specifically because of the fact that MKB only gives you 70% True Strike, so there's no real 100% True Strike in the game anymore, at least as far as items go. At level 15 you can go for plus 30 attack speed or plus 15% Mystic Snake Mana Steal. I'm pretty much always going to go for the Mystic Snake Mana Steal here because I'm pretty tanky as it is, and I've got a lot of attack speed with Mask of Madness enabled, so I don't really care. Like, I'm just going to have Mask of Madness on, and I'm going to have my Mana Shield on, so I don't really care about the fact that I'm taking more damage from the Mask of Madness, and plus 30 attack speed is nice and all, but it doesn't give you as much when you already have Mask of Madness activated. At level 20, you can choose between plus 2.5 Stone Gaze duration, or plus 800 mana, whichever you want here is totally fine because they're both super strong. And then level 25 you can choose between Split Shot uses modifiers or plus 7 split shot targets. It depends on the situation and if you have a lot of modifiers, so that one's largely up to you. They're both super powerful though, so weigh your game out very, very heavily before you choose which one you're going to go with, because these are insanely powerful talents. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this guide, and good luck out there.